This is Here We Go Sports. This is December the 1st, 2023. We're going to talk a little bit about Indiana's win against Maryland. It just happened. We're 5 minutes past the game. Indiana was up by 23 points at one point in time, and they struggled a little bit in the second half. We're going to get into that, though. And then we're also going to talk a little bit about the Colts. We're going to find out exactly what the Colts are made of against Tennessee. But let's go ahead and talk about it.
Let's go. Yo, I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind.
So, Indiana took the lead in this game and never looked back. They played pretty well on defense. They were a lot more energetic, scrambled around more, played as a team a little bit more, I think. You know what? I believe they're a better team without Xavier Johnson. I don't think that they're as good as a team with him out there. And I think it's because they depend on him way too much. The game seems to be move a little bit faster, but it's a lot more sloppier play. And they're not looking for all the open guys. I think that they depend on him a lot to do a lot of work. And without him out there on the floor, it allows the entire team to depend on each other. So I think they're a little bit better team without him on the floor now. They're learning to play as a team without him on the floor. And I'm hoping, because Xavier does bring a different element to the game for Indiana. And he is, he's the senior staff or senior player of this team. And I think we need him out there. I really do. And I'm hoping this team learns how to play as a team without him out there. And maybe that'll carry over to when he comes back. That is my hope. Now, Indiana played really well. Like I said, they played really good defense in the first half as well as the second half. And they played okay offense in that first half. There was quite a few screens being thrown out there. There was quite a few assists being thrown out there. And I'm telling you right now, this game would not have been the same without 32 doing his job. Trey Galloway. Without Trey Galloway, this game is completely different. He had 6 assists. He had, I think, 16 points, if I remember correctly. But he was all over the floor, scrambling, recovered a few thrown away passes. He was all over the floor, and he was driving to the hole, looking for open players all over the place. He had a couple of dishes for 3-point plays. He looked good. Trey Galloway was all over the court today. He stepped it up big time. He played excellent defense. I can go on and on and on about Trey Galloway. I believe he also had 5 rebounds, if I remember correctly, as well. He was a beast tonight. Now, and toward the end of the game, Indiana struggled bad. And I wondered if it was that they were trying to milk the clock to secure the win. But Coach came out and said that they struggled. So apparently it was not the game plan. I mean, it was just the young youth in them that was popping up where they were just trying to win. And so they were waiting to the very last few seconds to do anything to try to score maybe. I'm not really sure what happened, but they got out of the flow of the game somehow. Somewhere between the 14-minute mark in the second half to the 12-minute mark or 10-minute mark in the second half, the flow of our defense and offense kind of changed. We weren't in sync, so to speak. Somewhere down the road, something interfered with our flow. And it wasn't Maryland. It was something mentally that they were trying to do, is my opinion. Coach said that he was going to try to fix the problem offensively that happened in the second half, because I'm telling you right now, I don't know how good Maryland truly is. But I can promise you this: if we play Purdue, I don't care what kind of lead we have. If we play like that toward the end, they're going to beat us by 15. So we need to get cleaned up. But you can't argue with a win. Now, the difference between today's Indiana team and, let's say, 8 years ago, 10 years ago, uh, is basically the speed of the game. And that is that they do not play up and down the court, wear people out type of basketball. They're not running court near as much. And that's what I'm beginning to see now. I also know that there's also a lot more differences, but I think that's the biggest difference in play. They're not doing the breakaway buckets, dunks, three-pointers. They don't have Hall out there hitting the three. There's Tom Cloverdale's not out there. That type of up and down the court kind of play, they don't have it. They just don't. And I don't know if it's the players that they're recruiting or if it's the coach's game plan. And I'm curious on, which one it is. Now, I do know there are some players out there we have quite a few young players out there that maybe not be in that kind of shape, but I just don't get it. We should, that's part of Indiana basketball, and I'm seeing that we're getting a little bit further and further away from that. I hope moving on into the future, we get back into that a little bit, because that is the excitement of the game, and we're missing that little excitement builder, I guess. I don't know how else to put it, but we do not have that get up and go. We just don't. We are a half-court team, which has worked today against Maryland. I can't argue about winning, but I'm just saying the differences between the teams. I mean, we don't have the shooters. We don't have, and we're not down the court like everybody else was, and the teams that actually went somewhere in the NCAA. I was always playing for the Big Ten tournament, but really didn't care about it because, as Bob Knight's thing, he never understood the Big Ten tournament because the NCAA was the most important one. But anyways, my opinion, outside of the shooting and the type of defense we play, we are not up and down the court like we used to be. We're just not. But with that said, Trey Galloway, I think he is going to make this team a good team this year. I don't think it's going to be Xavier. I just don't. Trey Galloway is the guy. He's the up and down court guy. He is the pusher. He's the one that dishes it off. He's always looking for the open guy. To me, he is the point guard. He's not, but he should be. So Indiana wins it by 13, I believe. I think it was 65-58, 59, something like that. I can't remember. Maybe it was 62, 59. I think it was 65-52, something like that. So anyhow, they do win, and I'm sorry, apologize for chopping up the actual score, but regardless, let's just get that out of the way. We're going to talk about the Colts. Now, the Colts are looking good. Okay, we have a really good defensive line. We have a really decent offensive line. Our offensive line is going to be complete in this week's game. So Kelly's coming back as the center, and we are going to look good in this week's game. The only thing I'm scared of is how our receivers are going to get open, because people are playing against us and stacking the block because we cannot throw the ball deep. Not that deep anyways. But we are figuring out ways to get it 25 yards up the field. I think he's got a deep of a 32-yard pass, and I think he really kind of almost threw his shoulder out doing that. Gardner Minshew is just not the strong quarterback that Richardson is. It's just the way it is. But he is developing as a quarterback slowly every single game. He's doing something different. He is changing his way he plays the game just a little bit. He's tweaking it. He's doing everything he can to possibly give us the best chance to win. And as much as I don't like Gardner Minshew as the starting quarterback, he is a good backup. And unfortunately, he is now the starter of this year's team. And so we got to deal with what we got. Not to say he's a bad quarterback, because he's not bad. He's just not a starter. But he is trying to be. So he is tweaking his game just enough to get us wins. And he's proven that he can win. So if we actually make it to the playoffs this year and we win one, I mean, somebody needs to pat that man on the back, because he's figured it out. Not saying Steichen's not helped him by no means. He's the one calling the plays, making the plays, developing the kind of shit that we need to run on the field to get these wins. But Gardner Minshew has to actually put out the plays. I mean, he's got to run them correctly. He's got to make the passes. He's got to scramble for the yards if it's not there. And he's kind of developing. He's scrambling around, and you think right when you think he's going to run, he's actually starting to dump it off. So he's adding a little bit to his game that he didn't have, I don't think, coming in. I just don't. I just don't think he had the type of play that he is developing as a player with this team this year. So to win this game, obviously, I mean, turnovers are huge. We got to win the turnover margin. But if he keeps the ball off the field, for other words, does not fumble it, and he doesn't throw any picks. Now, will he throw a pick? It's possible. But if he doesn't, we have an 80-90% chance of winning this game. And we're favored already. But we got 89% chance of winning this game. And that's exactly what we need him to do. And like I said, he is changing his way he plays this game. And I think it's helping us tremendously. And as long as he keeps on doing that, then we'll be fine. As long as he keeps on changing his play so he doesn't get any interceptions and doesn't fumble the ball, I'd rather him fall on the ground than fumble it. I'd rather him collapse, get a 10-yard loss than throwing the pick. Because at least we can punt it and we're still in the game. But if we fumble it or we throw a pick on our 5, and even if we get them before they get in the end zone, that's a freebie field goal and most likely a touchdown. So, anyhow, your thoughts, my ramble. Have a good one, and I'll catch you in the next one.